Hi there, welcome to the latest edition of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is the repulsive Ian Blackford and his continuation to expect to ride the gravy train. Now, Mr. Blackford in the summer suggested that he no longer wanted to stand for election as an MP sitting at Westminster. And, it had been there too long and the travel and all these things were spouted as potential reasons. This was around about the same time as he was ousted as the leader of the SNP at Westminster. He describes it as having stood down. Others describe it as being told to sit down, which is unusual because this is a man that's already been flung out of Parliament for refusing to sit down. When he took a huff during the Brexit discussions at Parliament during Boris Johnson's time, I believe. I think he was the Prime Minister at the time. And he was adamant, and standing there, banging his feet in the floor like a child. And when the Speaker, is it Berkrud he called the guy, he told him that he would have to leave the chamber if he refused to sit down and get his way. He was swiftly removed from the chamber, and all his SNP colleagues left with their dummies out. This is the same guy. Now, he, as I say, stood down and then said he wasn't going to stand again and, cited things like travel and time spent in London, etc. Recently, and over the last couple of weeks now, or maybe even over the last week, he's now made two announcements. First, he announced that he might just stand as an MSP once his time at Westminster's over, which, to be fair, gives him a lot less. I think it's Lacaber he serves as a MP for, so we'll give him a lot less travel. But, still get the same commitments time-wise. So he might do that. And then the latest one is an absolute cracker. He's now saying that the SNP, who up until now refuse peerages, so they don't take part in the scheme because they feel the House of Lords is a sham and unelected people shouldn't be involved in government, which is great considering on their cabinet in Holyrood just now they've got two Greens who amassed about 1,000 and 1,500 votes each at the last election. Nobody elected them in. They get in through the regional list, through the representation vote. They didn't get elected in. So, but they're talking about this House of Lords as being, a sham because it's non-elected members, and they shouldn't have any say in Parliament. So that's been their stance for a while. Now that Mr. Blackford is getting to that age of no longer being an MP, which he's done since 2015, I think. So he's done, 8-9 years at the gig, and his age and whatever. He now thinks it's the time for the SNP to accept peerages. Funny that, isn't it? And even people that you would think were more supportive of Mr. Blackford, like SNP people, like Joanna Cherry on the SNP, they even see right through it. And she's come out and said, looks like Ian's looking for a peerage. These people are really just the epitome of sleaze. This thing that's been terrible since SNP first put a member of Parliament in Westminster, and SNP would not accept peerages or consider them. Suddenly, Mr. Blackford thinks this would be a good thing. It's funny that, Mr. Blackford, you didn't think it was a good thing 7-8 years ago when you were just entering the House of Commons. Now as you're on your way out, you think, that'd be quite a good thing to have. These are crackers. Now, the other thing to consider, when he stood down, I think there's now 7, might be 8, MPs who serve for the SNP have now stated they will not be standing for election. And they cite different excuses. Very few of them citing genuine reasons. There's a lot of excuses in there. And what that tells you is they know the game's up. These people wouldn't want to be given up. They're 80 grand a year plus expenses. Is it 75 grand a year plus expenses? Either way, a shitload of dough, right? Plus a nice expenses package, which means it doesn't cost you anything to go to your work, and your wages are your wages. They get travel and they get put up, keep, and they want a secretary, it's all paid for. They want cleaning paid for, all that nice travel paid for. So it's a nice wee cushy number. So I'm meant to believe that 7 or 8 of them have just decided they no longer want to be MPs. I ain't wearing it. You guys know, as well as I know, that your time's up. The Scottish population are not going to vote for you come the next election, and I just hope it's sooner rather than later. You are a shambles. You're an absolute shambles. You rewrite your morals on a daily basis just to suit whatever way the wind's blowing. And it's just all aboard the gravy train, consistently. So here's Mr. Blackford. He's not made enough now. Let's see, 70 times, what, 8 years? A fair dough. Plus all your expenses. You made that out of the public purse, and that, now I quite fancy either a peerage or a wee shot at Holyrood. You know what I mean? Then what? Blackford's one of these MPs that I would love somebody to tell me what he's actually done. Because their idea of going down to Westminster and making a difference is just bawling and shouting a lot and saying, Tory, oh, that was another thing he'd done. He obviously sees where his bread's buttered, issue, because I think the dogs in the street know and would put £1 on it if they had to on the outcome of the next general election at Westminster. And I think it's fair to say if it happened tomorrow, Labour would win. So now he's suggesting that the SNP should stop being a wee bit nasty to the Labour Party and referring to them as the Red Tories. No, Mr. Blackford, you don't think that. All you're thinking about is who will be handing out peerages at the next Parliament. That's what your game is. You are a spineless joke. And I ain't falling for it and thinking that, you're suddenly found these morals and you think it was bad sport for your pals in the SNP to be slagging off the Tories. Sorry, Labour. That was probably a Freudian slip there, because I'm struggling to know the difference now. Whole politics in Britain's getting a bit of a joke, isn't it? Do you know what would be brilliant? See if just 1 year we'd done like an American thing where you didn't vote for a party, you just voted for a president, and we get some crackpot, you know what I mean? We get some guy that was just so non-politician, like somebody like me, right? I know it's going to happen, but imagine that, right? Or somebody like a Donald Trump, because that's why I couldn't tell you if Donald Trump was a great president or a bad president, but I tell you what he was different, right? He wasn't a proper politician, one of these people that's never had a proper job in their life. They've just went to university and, got grants for that, and then fell into some cuddly, I don't know, councillor job somewhere, and then ended up members of Parliament. Hardly any of them have had proper jobs. There's a couple of them, you've got older dying the will guys, couple of ex-miners and stuff like that. They do for me. I couldn't care if you're a Tory or a Labour. So if you're an ex-miner and you're up there talking straight, I'll have a bit of you, right? Try to remember the one I heard the other day in the radio. Cracking old guy, think he was a Tory, mad as a bag of cats, right? Miner, right? You have a go, son. You can be the Prime Minister for a wee go, right? Listen to all that shit you need to do in there on a daily basis. And let's get a Trump in. That'd be great, wouldn't it? But our system doesn't allow that, because you need to be the head of a party first, and you tend to have to go to Oxford or Cambridge to get one of the gigs in the Westminster. But just for one term, that'd be quite refreshing, wouldn't it? Just a normal punter sitting there going, nah, you're talking shite. Aye, we could get hats made up, make Britain great again, and start some presidential. Maybe we should have an honorary president of the United Kingdom for a wee term. Just there to do that's a checks and balances on these crackpots. Just go, nah, no doing that, nah, we're not doing that. That's just nonsense. Nah, PPE, nah, we can get it out of Lidl's cheaper, right? Just proper that. But who are you trying to get a peerage for? Blackford? Him? Nah, not having that. I know. Sit down. It'd be some laugh for it. Just a normal punter. How can we make that happen? Eh? Get some wee mad miner for Yorkshire being the president of the United Kingdom who had actually could we still have a Prime Minister, right? Still have that. Why did I not think of this before? This is a 10-minute rant on its own, isn't it? I'm going to give this some thought. How we can get Joe Public actually in place in Parliament, right? Some wee guy for Hull, right? What's that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? No, not happening. Not in my gig. So these crackpots sitting, oh, hey, all they do, across the floor at each other. And this wee guy, the high agent, just sits and watches And once they've all decided that they've spoke shite and they've decided this is what we're going to do, it gets put to the president, right? That'd be brilliant, man. Some wee sheep shearer for Lochaber or something. I don't know, I've got one of them. I don't know. Some council worker for Edinburgh. No, not happening, mate. Let's do that. That would be brilliant. No me, right? But somebody, imagine somebody like me. Just like, nah, sit down. These are crackpot. What else could they do? That's just get me thinking. Anyway, Blackford, peerage. I'll sit at Holyrood. Honest to God, you must think we're all mugs and can't see right through you. Even Joanna Cherry's having a pop at you because you're a pompous old twat, right? And you want a peerage. For what? You can't behave yourself at Westminster. Why would they put you next door? Do you know what I mean? Aye, see these green, is it green seats we have in the Commons? No, you're going to sit in the red seats there and they suddenly think you're going to start behaving yourself. You absolute plonker, mate. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. You want to, I'm going to so do this president idea. Subscribe if you want, hit the notifications, but the most important thing of all, have a great day. Bye now.